All of you, good morning, dear students. Welcome back to biology session. How are you all? Had a breakfast? Had a breakfast? Good. Welcome back to biology session. Today, let us discuss new chapter, biological classification. Dear students, all of you open your notebooks and NCERT book, both biology notebook and NCERT textbook. Right, main chapter name, biological classification. Biological classification. Important chapter, and it is the second chapter from first year. Second chapter, biological classification. Yes. First, what is classification? After identification of plants and animals, scientists classified means divided into different categories. Plants divided into some categories. Similarly, animals also divided into some categories. We will discuss all these things step by step. First, a famous scientist, Aristotle. Note down. Aristotle, who is also known as father of biology and father of zoology, attempted the first time scientific classification method. He classified plants. He classified first plants into three categories, three types or three categories. What are three types? Herbs, shrubs, and trees. Herbs, shrubs, and trees. Herbs means small plants, very small plants that are very small in size. Okay. Next, shrubs means medium height plants. Medium height plants. Next, trees. Trees means both broad and canopy. Broad base, broad and tall. On what basis? Based on morphological characters. That is very important. Based on morphological characters. Okay, morphological characters. Yes, a famous scientist, Aristotle, who is also known as father of biology and father of zoology, he classified all plants into three types, three kinds, namely herbs, shrubs, and trees. Herbs means small plants. Small plants, example, algae, bryophytes, etc. And shrubs. Shrubs means medium height plants. Medium height plants. Medium height plants, example, suppose shrubs, right? Subheading. Shrubs. Some examples. Okay. Algae and bryophytes. Algae and bryophytes. Algae living in water. Okay. Bryophytes living on land, soil. Next, sorry, not shrubs, herbs. Herbs example, it is wrong. Herbs example, algae and bryophytes. Next, shrubs. Shrubs means medium height plants. Medium height plants. medium height plants. Some examples: jasmine, datura, and some vegetable yielding plants. Vegetable plants. Of course, many other examples are there. For your clear understands, I am explaining here some examples. Okay. Herbs example: algae and bryophytes. Clear? Algae. What is algae? It is the non-flowering plant living in water. Okay. Next, we will discuss algae, types of algae in coming classes. Here discussion no need. You just remember examples of herbs. That is enough. Okay. Next, bryophytes. Bryophytes are the first land plants. First land plants means living on soil. Next, shrubs. Example: jasmine, datura, and vegetable plants. Vegetable plants example: brinjal, mirchi. Okay. Even cucumber. Many other examples are there. Right. Next, trees. Trees include banyan tree, tamarind tree, eucalyptus tree. Okay, many other examples are there. Several wild plants, forest plants. Okay, this and all has broad base. Broad means canopy, like umbrella shape canopy. That is called broad base. And some trees are tall. Tall tree example, the best example, eucalyptus tree. That's it. So based on morphological characters, Aristotle classified plants into three types: herbs, shrubs, and trees. That's it. Now all of you take one screenshot, do it fast. Speed up. Everyone take one screenshot. Then I go with the next page. Done? Right. Next to animals. Animals. Aristotle also classified animals into two categories based on blood color. Based on blood color. What are two categories? Anaima and Enaima. Anaima and Enaima. Anaima means invertebrates. Invertebrates. Invertebrates means other than red blood animals. Other than red blood animals. Okay, other than red blood animals. This Enaima. Enaima means vertebrates. Note down. Vertebrates. That means red blood animals. Red blood animals. Yes. The same scientist Aristotle, who is also known as father of biology, classified animals into two categories based on blood color. Okay. Anaima and Enaima. Anaima means invertebrates. All invertebrates having other than red blood color. Suppose colorless or red blood. Colorless or other than red blood. Suppose an example, mollusca. In mollusca members, color of the blood is blue color. But in Protozoa, Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Nematohelminthes, this and all colorless animals, means colorless blood animals. No color. No color in the sense white color. That's it. So based on blood color, all animals can be classified into two categories, Anaima and Enaima. Anaima example, invertebrates. Invertebrates example from Protozoa. protozoa to echinodermata. Right there, protozoa to echinodermata. Echinodermata. This and all invertebrates. Invertebrates. What is the color of the blood in invertebrates? Colorless or white? Colorless or white. Okay. Hence, Anaima also called other than red blood animals. Other than red blood animals. That's it. Next, Anaima. Anaima means vertebrates. Vertebrates example, fishes, amphibians, fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. This and all vertebrates. Understood now, dear students? Vertebrates. Clear? Fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals are called vertebrates. These are higher living organisms, somewhat higher living organisms than protozoa to echinodermata. And what is the color of the blood in vertebrates? Red color. Red color. That's it. Okay. Yes. Now all of you take one screenshot. Do it fast. Speed up. Speed up. Quick. Over. So this is briefly about Aristotle classification, plant classification, and animal classification. But Aristotle did not classify what are unicellular organisms and which are multicellular organisms. Okay. But again, another scientist, namely Linnaeus, Carolus Linnaeus, also classified organisms into different categories. We will discuss now. Then I go with the next page. Okay, right. After Aristotle, another scientist, namely Carolus Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus, a famous scientist, Swedish scientist, Sweden. He was from Sweden. Swedish scientist also proposed binomial nomenclature. In previous lesson, the living world, there already we have discussed Carolus Linnaeus. He was proposed binomial nomenclature. The topic completed. Okay. Here, Carolus Linnaeus also classified all organisms into two kingdoms. Two kingdoms. Note down. Two kingdoms. What are two kingdoms? Plantae and Animalia. Plantae and Animalia. Kingdom Plantae include all plants, all types of plants. Kingdom Animalia, it include all animals. All animals. Right? But some demerits are there in Linnaeus classification. What are demerits? Right, subheading demerits. Demerits. First demerit, he did not classify. He did not classified unicellular and multicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms. Okay, he did not classify what are unicellular organisms and which are multicellular organisms. First demerit. And second demerit, he did not classify prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Important. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Actually, what is prokaryotes? An organism without specific nuclear membrane called prokaryotes. See, prokaryotes means without nuclear membrane. Right here only, without nuclear membrane. Okay. Next, eukaryotes means with the nuclear membrane. Quite opposite. With nuclear membrane. That's it. Right? Yeah. Once I repeat, he did not classify which are prokaryotes and which are eukaryotes. Prokaryotes means an organism without nuclear membrane. Without nuclear membrane called prokaryotes. Then eukaryotes means an organism with the nuclear membrane. Suppose take examples of prokaryotes, bacteria. Bacteria is the best example of prokaryotes. In bacteria, that is unicellular organism. Nucleus, there is no specific nucleus because around the nucleus there is no nuclear membrane, nuclear envelope. Such organisms are called prokaryotes. Best example, bacteria, archaebacteria, and eubacteria, blue-green algae. These are all prokaryotes. We'll discuss in detail about prokaryotes in coming classes. Next, eukaryotes means a cell with a specific nuclear membrane around nuclear material called eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell. Such organisms are called eukaryotes. Example, from protozoa to chordata, all organisms. Protozoa, porifera, coelenterata, platyhelminthes, nematohelminthes. There are many phylums. Okay, these are all eukaryotic organisms. And plants, all plants are eukaryotic organisms, like algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. These are all eukaryotic organisms. Okay, means all higher living animals, lower living animals, all higher living plants and lower living plants are the examples of eukaryotes because they have specific nuclear membrane around the nuclear material in each and every cell. That's it. These two are the major demerits from Linnaeus classification. Once I repeat, dear students, listen carefully. After Aristotle, another famous scientist, Carolus Linnaeus, he was from Sweden biologist, Swedish. He classified all organisms into two categories, two kingdoms, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Plantae include all plants, unicellular plants and multicellular plants. Next, kingdom Animalia, it include all animals, lower living animals and higher living animals, unicellular animals and multicellular animals, all animals. Clear? And these are the demerits from Linnaeus classification. He did not classify unicellular and multicellular organisms. What are unicellular organisms and what are multicellular organisms? He did not classify. Unicellular means an organism made up of a single cell called unicellular organisms. And multicellular means an organism that is made up of two to many cells. Two to many cells are called multicellular organisms. Clear? Understood now? My dear students, are you getting my point? Good. And second demerit, he did not classify prokaryotes and eukaryotes. What is prokaryotic cell? What is eukaryotic cell? And what are prokaryotes and which are eukaryotes? He did not classify. These are the major demerits from Linnaeus classification. Hope you understood. Understood now? Right. Now all of you take one screenshot, make it fast. Then I go with the next page. Speed up, make it fast. All of you take screenshot. Don't do neglect. Speed up, speed up. Quick. Done. The next page. After Linnaeus, another scientist, Ernest Haeckel, right subheading, Ernest Haeckel. Ernest Haeckel also classified all organisms into three kingdoms. Three kingdoms. What are three kingdoms? Protista, Plantae, and Animalia. Protista, Plantae, and Animalia. Okay. Protista, it includes unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Right there, unicellular eukaryotes. Unicellular eukaryotes belongs to Protista. Suppose unicellular eukaryotes example, amoeba, all protozoans. Right here example, some examples, all protozoans like amoeba, paramecium, euglena, verticella, plasmodium. Many examples are there. All protozoans are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. I think you might have studied about prokaryotes even at school level, class 8th and 9th, 8th to 9th and 10th standards. Yes or no? Next, Plantae. Kingdom Plantae include both unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular plants, it is unicellular plants, and multicellular plants. Multicellular plants. Okay, right. Kingdom Plantae means according to Ernest Haeckel classification, Kingdom Plantae include all unicellular plants and multicellular plants. Right? Unicellular plants. Some examples. Right here. Okay. Unicellular plants. Some examples. Chlamydomonas, okay. Next, chlorella, diatoms, and desmids, etc. Unicellular plants, example, Chlamydomonas, CHLA. This is not there. CHLA-MY. Chlamydomonas, chlorella, diatoms, and desmids. Next, multicellular plants. Except these plants, rest of the all plants like bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms, these are all multicellular plants. Even some algae also multicellular plants, right? So according to Ernest Haeckel, kingdom Plantae include both unicellular plants and multicellular plants. Unicellular plants, some examples I written here, Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, Diatoms, and Desmids. That's it. And multicellular plants, best example, all higher living plants like bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, etc. Next, Animalia, kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia include same all unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular, sorry, not unicellular, multicellular only. Multicellular animals. Because already unicellular animals placed in Pratishta. I written here clearly, unicellular eukaryotes that include all protozoans. Therefore, unicellular organisms, unicellular animals collectively grouped under kingdom Pratishta. Therefore, kingdom Animalia include only multicellular organisms. That is about Ernest Haeckel classification. He classified all organisms into three kingdoms: Pratishta, Plantae, and Animalia. That's it. Now, all of you take one screenshot, do it fast, speed up. Speed up, speed up. Over. Next, another scientist. Copeland. Right there. Subheading Copeland, scientist name. Copeland classified all organisms into four kingdoms. Four kingdoms. Four kingdoms. And what are four kingdoms? First one, Munira. Munira. Next, Pratishta. Pratishta. Then Metaphyta. Metaphyta. And Metazoa. Metazoa. Who first used the term Munira means Copeland. Important. Munira. Copeland. Hello, sir. Sir, కింద ఉన్నారా? ఒక నిమిషం ఇస్తాను సార్, ఒక నిమిషం. Right, wait 1 minute. Only 1 minute. So you have to remember different scientists and their classification methods. First, Aristotle classification. Next, Linnaeus, Carolus Linnaeus classification. Linnaeus proposed two kingdom classification, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. Next, third scientist, Ernest Haeckel. He classified all organisms into three kingdoms. Three kingdoms. Just half minute. So he classified all life forms into three categories: Protista, Plantae, and Animalia. And again, another scientist, fourth scientist, Copeland. Copeland classified all organisms into four kingdoms. What are four kingdoms? Monera, Protista, Metaphyta, and Metazoa. First, Monera. Who first used the term Monera means Copeland. Kingdom Monera include all prokaryotes. All prokaryotes. All prokaryotes. Like Archaebacteria. Some examples. I'm writing here some examples of Monera. Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria. Eubacteria. Eubacteria. Mycoplasma. Or okay, BGA. BGA stands for blue-green algae. Here I wrote short form. Try to understand, dear students. BGA stands for blue-green algae. Blue-green algae. Okay. So Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, and blue-green algae. These and all prokaryotes. Prokaryotes. Because they do not have specific nuclear membrane around the nuclear material. Hence, they were known as Monera members, prokaryotes. Next, Protista. Protista remains same. Already, tell me who first proposed the term Protista means Ernest Haeckel. He first used the term Protista. Kingdom Protista include all unicellular organisms. Already we have discussed unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. That's it. Next, Metaphyta. Metaphyta means nothing but Plantae, kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae. Not there. And Metazoa. It include kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia. That's it. Very easy. But kingdom Metaphyta include only multicellular plants. Only multicellular plants like algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, etc. I write here some examples. You also note down some examples of Metaphyta: algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Clear, right? Algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. This and all belongs to Metaphyta. Metaphyta also called Plantae, kingdom Plantae. Both are same. Already the term kingdom Plantae used by Linnaeus. And Metazoa. Metazoa means nothing but Animalia, right? Already the term Animalia first used by Linnaeus. Carolus Linnaeus. Yes or no? Right? Okay. And Metazoa include all types of multicellular animals. Multicellular animals like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, etc. These examples I told clearly already. Fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. This and all belongs to kingdom Animalia. That's it. Now all of you take one screenshot. Speed up, make it fast. Dear students, it's a very important concept. After completion of class, when you are at leisure, once or twice, revise today notes, the same lesson, the same topic. Again, read in NCERT textbook, NCERT book. Don't forget. Still, who did not have materials or NCERT textbook, immediately visit our campus and purchase all materials from the campus. That is your responsibility. Okay, right. That's it. Can I go to the next page? Yeah. Next scientist, Whittaker, R.H. Whittaker. Note down subheading R.H. Whittaker. R.H. Whittaker, another famous scientist. In the year 1969, he proposed 5-kingdom classification. 5-kingdom classification. It's very important. What are 5 kingdoms? The first kingdom, Manira. Note down, Manira. Next, Pratishta. Pratishta. Next, fungi. Fungi. This is N, F-U-N-G-I. F-U-N-G-I, fungi. Then plantae. Plantae. Animalia. Plantae and Animalia. Monera. I told already, kingdom Monera include all prokaryotes. If you want to write again, all prokaryotes. All prokaryotes. Kingdom Pratishta include all unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. Kingdom fungi. Who first classified kingdom fungi means Whittaker, R.H. Whittaker. First classified fungi also. Before Whittaker, no other scientist classified fungi. That is the specialty of Whittaker's classification. Even throughout worldwide, whose classification is widely accepted means R.H. Whittaker's classification only. Nowadays, we are studying and following R.H. Whittaker's classification. So it is very important concept. Don't forget. Kingdom fungi include unicellular, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular and multicellular fungi. Okay. Next, plantae, you know very well. Again, discussion on it. Kingdom plantae include all multicellular plants. Next, kingdom Animalia include all multicellular animals. That's it. So, R.H. Whittaker given a meaningful classification, worldwide, widely accepted classification. Therefore, all biologists throughout worldwide, several biologists widely accepted R.H. Whittaker classification. Clear? Monera, Pratishta, fungi, plantae, and Animalia. Kingdom Monera include all prokaryotes. You know well what are prokaryotes. What are the examples of prokaryotes? We have discussed just now. And kingdom Pratishta include all unicellular organisms. Next, kingdom fungi include some unicellular and all multicellular fungi. All multicellular fungi. Then plantae, it include all multicellular plants. But right here, multicellular plants. multicellular plants. That's it. Next, kingdom Animalia include multicellular animals. Multicellular animals. That's it. Okay. He classified all organisms based on some particular features. What are the features? Means I write here based on. This classification is mainly based on some characters like cell structure, reproduction, the type of reproduction, mode of nutrition, okay, mode of nutrition, and cell structure, reproduction, mode of nutrition, and habitats, etc. Based on this criteria, R.H. Whittaker classified all organisms into 5 kingdoms. That's it. Okay. Now all of you take one screenshot. Do it fast. Speed up. On what basis R.H. Whittaker classified all life forms into 5 categories, 5 kingdoms? One important neat objective question. Don't forget. Cell structure, reproduction, mode of nutrition, and habitats. Even cell wall composition also. Another character, I am right here. Cell wall character. Cell wall character also one of the criteria. Okay, right. Shall I go with the next page? Read first. Speed up. Yeah. In NCERT book, one box point given. One box point. Box. Name of the character. Name of the character. Next to all 5 kingdoms. Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Comparison. Name of the character. Next, all 5 kingdoms.
It's 10 hours.
Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. In NCERT book, all characters clearly mentioned. Suppose cell wall character or cell type. You have to practice the table which is given in NCERT. Cell type, prokaryote. Next, rest of the all are eukaryotes. Okay, E stands for eukaryotes. Very simple. Eukaryotes. Next, nutrition or nuclear membrane. Next character, nuclear membrane. Absent, but present in Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Because in monerans, where is the nuclear membrane? No nuclear membrane. Hence, it is absent. But eukaryotes having specific nuclear membrane. So out of 5 kingdoms, one kingdom is prokaryote. Rest of the all 4 kingdoms include eukaryotes. Next, nutrition. Next character, nutrition. In modirans are heterotrophs. Some are heterotrophs. And some are autotrophs. Autotrophs. Autotrophs again are of 2 kinds. Chemoautotrophs and photoautotrophs. Okay, right. Mostly kingdom Munera members are heterotrophs and some members are autotrophs. Autotrophs again are of 2 kinds, chemoautotrophs and photoautotrophs. Some bacteria prepare food by itself by taking chemicals, and some bacteria prepare food in presence of sunlight, like plants, that are called photoautotrophs. Okay. Next, Pratishta. Both autotrophs and heterotrophs. Some are autotrophs and some are heterotrophs. I wrote short form, try to understand. Auto means autotrophs, hetero means heterotrophs. Next, fungi, heterotrophs. All are heterotrophs. Okay. Heterotrophs are of 2 kinds, parasitic and saprophytic. Parasitic and saprophytic. We'll discuss all these things in coming classes. Next, kingdom Plantae are autotrophs. Animalia, heterotrophs, etc. I wrote short form. Auto means autotrophs, hetero means heterotrophs. That's it. Like this, in NCERT, one box point given. All of you go through box point, study carefully box point, and you have to write box point in your notebook, botany notebook. That means biology notebook. Don't forget. It is just comparison between all 5 kingdoms: Monera, Pratishta, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. You once go through all characters and comparison between all 5 kingdoms. This box point is very, very important. I am expecting questions from this box point even in today class test exam. It is also important for main board exam, NEET objective exam, and set exams. Okay, students. Right, our right time completed. Today I will stop here. Rest of the part I will continue next session. If anybody have doubts, please make a phone call and clarify your doubts. When you are at leisure, you just make a phone call. I will clarify your doubts on the spot. Understood now? Right? Now all of you take one screenshot, do it fast. Speed up. Speed up, make it fast. Done? Sir, class completed, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, students. Whatever the topics today we have discussed, you have to complete this all concepts. Once go through notes. After that, the same topic read in NCERT book. Okay. If anybody have doubts, means directly ask me. I clarify your doubts. Don't worry about that. Okay, it is an interesting chapter, important chapter. It has good weightage for NEET objective exam.